Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Traveling Bee. I'm your host, as always. Um, this video is going to be a series, actually. This is going to be part one. A lot of you guys, a long time ago, for a video that has almost 3,000 views, actually, was called U.S. Navy Rates, What Job is Right for You? And I had a lot of people comment saying, hey, could you do a series and break down the rates depending on the community? So I thought I would start out by doing the most simple community to start with, and that's administration. That way it kind of gives people an idea of, okay, well, maybe I did something secretarial, or, they're wanting to do something where they are, handy with Word or Excel or PowerPoint, or maybe making videos and stuff like a YouTube video. So I'm going to basically give you these 7 rates of, well, I think it's 6 or 7, excuse me, of the administration within the Navy. So I'm going to start it off with the first one, which is LN, and that is Legalman. Basically, a legalman is someone who provides assistance in terms of, voters registration, indebtedness, Social Security, like veterans benefits, especially if you're trying to get a power of attorney, for example. They work very closely with the JAG, Judge Advocate General, and they can help you work through a process of appeals. A lot of court cases such as, court martials and investigations, filing claims. Let's say you have an accident out in town or something like that. You can go through your legal office and try to have that all sorted out. I know when I lived overseas, there was a document called a sojourner, something like that. I think that's right. That basically you had to apply for to allow your spouse or your children to live with you legally overseas so they didn't get deported, because their passport's only good for so long. The legal office is definitely a pretty neat place to go if you have any issues with proceedings. Let's say you're going up for a non-judicial punishment because you went to MAST or whatever. Hey, I got a DUI and they're going to out-process me out of the military, That's where you would go through your proceedings after your court case or whatever, if you had to go up to XOI or Admiral's Mast or, like I said, a court martial. That's going to be the department to go to that's going to help you with all of that. So we're going to move on to the next rate. The next rate is the MC, Mass Communications Specialist. If you're kind of curious what an MC does, MC is basically picture a photographer or a videographer or a DJ or something like that. Basically, they've got a great rate, because basically it used to be 2 or 3 rates and then were consolidated into one. Basically, they're in charge of like multimedia design and production, layout of like let's say your base or ship or squadron or whatever has a command newspaper or a magazine. I know in my last command in Italy, we had the base magazine or the base newspaper called The Signature. I was on the cover one time. Stuff like that. They basically can design like, public domain websites or something. Let's say, like I said, your command has a website. They would usually be in charge of setting all that up with the photos, writing about it. They manage the radio and television stations. Let's say for AFN, the Armed Forces Network, both the radio station and the television station. All kinds of cool stuff. They take a lot of pictures. They work, in correlation with the PAO officers within the command to take photos and videos of, let's say, a change of command ceremony or, oh, wow, what else? I mean, pretty much anything you can think of. A lot of these amazing photos and videos you see, around the fleet of ships and subs and aircraft and spec war and CBs. Just all kinds of really neat stuff is done by these people within the Mass Communication Specialist MC rating. So if you're into editing videos and doing news features and documentation, basically, maintaining a variety of state-of-the-art equipment, then that might be the career path for you. On to the next one, yeah! Number 3 is going to be the MU, which is the musician. If you are musically inclined, let's say you play an instrument, you are in the chorus, something of that nature, and you're interested in being in the Navy band, performing at basically, ceremonies, being at the White House. They travel all over State Department. They're up at Recruit Training Command in Chicago for graduation. They perform at commissioning ceremonies, decommissioning ceremonies, sad. Just about anything you can think of. I mean, the band is really a neat way to go. They have a jazz band, it's kind of contemporary rock ensemble, if you will. But if you feel like you are musically inclined, whether it be an instrument or with the old vocal cords, you basically have to go up for an audition. There's actually, when you go to MEPS, I don't even think there's not even a minimum ASVAB score, I don't think, at that point. I think you literally just go up and you have to go to that school and audition. If I'm not mistaken, it's an automatic E4, whether you're an E1 or an E3, coming into the Navy, providing you graduate from that school. I guess it'd be like the School of Music or something like that. I'm not exactly sure 100%. I don't really even know any MUs. But like I said, if you are interested in that, talk to your recruiter and see if it's available when you go up to MEPS if you're interested in playing an instrument or singing. On to number 4. Number 4. Next would be the Navy Counselor, the NC. Or a lot of people might refer to them as a career counselor. Basically, they're going to interview personnel. They help you with a CDB, which is a career development board, to see where your goals are at and aspirations are for your naval career, whether you only want to do 4 years or you want to do 20 years, whatever your goals are. They're going to be in charge within your command's administration department on trying to set up your goals and aspirations to career changes or just the longevity of the rating that you are in. This is not a rate, if I'm not mistaken, this is not a rate that you can apply for when you go to MEPS as a E1 or E3 or E2. You can't apply for. This is a transfer in program. I think the minimum is either E5 or E6, if I'm not mistaken, and you cross rate over. But basically, they're there to help you with your career development. If you're trying to go from active to reserves, or you're trying to go from reserves to active, they can answer any questions about picking orders, for example. They're basically like a liaison between Millington, which is where all the community managers and detailers are, and the service member. Like I said, it's a very rewarding but a very tough rating from what I've experienced and talked to quite a few NCs. I've actually talked to mine in my command right now because I'm in the process of trying to switch over to a new rate myself. So it's definitely a rate that focuses on organizing, training, motivating, career information programs, especially if you're looking to out-process from the Navy. You go through TAPS or TGPS, if you will, on how to transition successfully from the military lifestyle back to a civilian working job, where your benefits will lie, how to go from, having a daily naval routine to being like, oh, wow, I'm a civilian again. So definitely, if that's something you're interested in, you would have to wait until later in your career when you've become more senior enlisted to really inquire about it. So that's number 4, which is the NC Navy Counselor. So on to number 5. Number 5 is going to be the PS, Personnel Specialist. PS they're kind of, besides another rate we'll speak on, I would consider them the other part of the backbone, if you will, of the admin department. These individuals are just so dynamic because they're basically maintaining, entering data into your electronic or enlisted service record, ESR, excuse me. Basically, when personnel is gained to the command or departing the command, they're in charge of their, I guess you'd say, entering all their personal information via their check-in sheet. If you have any ID cards, your CAT card, issues with that, you can go and see them. You would go to PSD. Basically, they'll give you counseling related to your general education, your job training, things of that nature. maybe if you're going through some personal hardships or something like that, making a recommendation for an assignment perhaps. Let's see, you would definitely need to route all your correspondence through them if you have an inquiry within, an official letter or a report. The big two things that I'm currently battling myself is pay issues and leave issues. On your leave and earnings statement, they can help you, they'll walk you through it when you pull it up on MyPay and kind of give you a breakdown of, okay, well, I'm given this much leave, I've used this much leave, or I'm getting paid too much or too little or whatever, and then give you a breakdown of your allotments and what you'll basically be receiving in pay. Another big one is they also do travel claims. So when you go on deployment and you come back, you have to voucher out within the Defense Travel System, I think that's right, DTS, and file a claim. And a lot of times they'll reimburse you if you used your government travel card and things of that nature. They're basically like a cashier, if you will, in a sense, almost to pay government funds back. Like I said, I was, me personally, I was getting overpaid, and then now I'm getting underpaid. It's a big old roller coaster of finances, if you will. But they basically, they maintain audits and pay entitlements. So if you have any pay issues, leave issues, you need to route something, let's say for the exam, your rating exam, when you do your worksheet, you have to sign it and send it to your command ESO, and they'll route it for you up the chain of command so you'll be eligible to take your rating exam. So that is the PS Personnel Specialist. Now on to number 6. Number 6 is the RP, Religious Programs Specialist. I had a few friends that were RPs. You can go green side, meaning you can be FMF with the Marines, or you can go Seabees, or you can go blue side, to the ship or to the squadron or whatever, if you will, to the chapel. Basically, these individuals are the assistant to the chaplain. These guys, actually, if you go green side, go to the Marines, you go through a program called CREST. I don't know if you do the same thing if you come to battalion for Seabees. You might go through ECS, Expeditionary Combat Skills, here in Mississippi. But basically, they provide like physical security for the chaplain when they're in the field. Chaplain's obviously not carrying a firearm, but the RPs will be. They maintain the religious programs, so let's say like volunteer opportunities, all the office personnel and things that go on within the church itself. Basically, they're setting up services. It doesn't matter if it's a Christian service, Catholic, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, any other service you can think of, just about. They cater to your religious needs. It's a pretty neat rate. You don't actually have to be religious, from what I've been told, or at least a friend of mine who is RP too, told me. I mean, of course it helps. I mean, you're not per se spreading the gospel, if you will, but just maintaining a liaison with the religious community out in town, churches, volunteer programs within the church itself, and maintaining records and documents and basically like references for various faith groups. And if you're into that, if you feel maybe the Spirit is calling you, so to speak, that might be a rating that you'd be interested in looking at. It's not a bad gig at all. It's very rewarding in terms of being able to work with someone who's religious. Like I said, I personally enjoy that type of stuff. But if you're interested in that by any chance, that is the RP, and that is the Religious Programs Specialist. And last but not least, we're on to number 7, the backbone of all of admin. Here we go. Number 7, and it is YN, the Yeoman. Yeoman is the backbone of admin. Basically, they prepare and type up route correspondence reports. They serve as an office manager, basically, perform clerical and administrative duties, and basically maintain like records and publications for anything the command has. If they need to write up a special letter, they work in conjunction with the PSs, like I was telling you, the personnel specialists. They kind of, feed off each other, if you will, in certain aspects. But they can organize and maintain files. Basically, you know, anything that you need that is a written or typed up documentation, they can maintain. And like I said, they also work in correspondence with a personnel specialist if you're having pay issues or leave issues. They are trained to kind of decipher that. If there's a question they don't have, they can always, you know, jump in with their personnel specialists and they can kind of haggle it together. But they operate, you know, computers, word processing, Excel spreadsheets. They do audio recording, working with printers and fax machines. Pretty much any of your secretarial things your command needs, that is what the yeomans do. If that's something you're interested in, like I said, it's a pretty good gig. Like I said, if you're into sitting at a desk, I guess, I don't know. I considered it myself. I actually just tried to do it recently, and it didn't work out, but that's okay. You know, to each is their own. And hopefully it'll work out in the long run for me, though. But if you are interested in an administrative job that I listed, like I said, talk to your recruiter. Definitely go when you go up to MEPS to choose, ask the classifier, which you'll probably speak to a PS or a YN maybe that's doing that anyway at MEPS. If any of those jobs are available, like I said, it's a really, really big backbone field within the Navy itself because they can go anywhere. I mean, a lot of these rates, especially about 3 or 4 out of those that I list out of the 7, if not all, can have a broad range of commands and communities that they can join, which makes them so unique and diverse. The next video, though, we'll be doing a part 2. Next will be aviation. Now, aviation is probably going to be a pretty long video because there is a lot of aviation rates. It makes up another large percentage of ratings within the Navy. And basically, I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm really going to do, you know, a couple of series videos. We'll do information warfare, medical, the nuclear program. We'll do CBs and security. I may kind of intertwine them just because MA is one rate and you got 7 CB rates. Supply, surface ops, surface engineering, and last but not least, we'll do the old submarines. And then I may throw in a special video called Spec War and Special Programs. I'll cover, you know, SEAL, SWIC, Navy Diver, EOD, Air Rescue. And then I'll even maybe cover some special programs like you want to be a recruiter or divisional commander at Recruit Training Command, or you want to go to the Constitution or State Department or the White House. We'll do a video on that one too. I think that will be kind of a one big fat video. That way I'm not spacing out too much because it's literally going to be a lot of videos. But if you guys are interested, please like, comment, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and let me know in the comments what you want to know about more ratings, and I'll try to get back to you. And if I don't have the information personally or can't find anybody that can give it to me, or I can find it online for that matter, definitely go ask your recruiter. Seek someone out at MEPS when you go up to choose a rating if you're not 100% sure on what you're getting yourself into. And as always, Google is your friend. Try to use a reliable source. But that's all I've got for you guys today. And as I always say, keep charging, stay motivated, and like, comment, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Let me know what else you guys want to hear. If you have any questions, shoot them to me. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And as always, keep charging. Hoo-yah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.